Hey everybody, welcome back to MTG Spec. This is Tom speaking, and we are going to do another notebook because I already have this whole thing set up. So this is the Indigo notebook, and this one is focused on special sets. So we have here the Lathny Dragon from Dragon Con. This one was kind of controversial because only attendees of Dragon Con in 1994 got a copy of it. It's got a little Dragon Con logo. It's also the only red creature to ever have banding, I believe. But that's kind of a wild card. And then all these others are previews of some of the sets that are going to be in the book. This is sort of a glossary page I like to do sometimes. And some of these are special sets, like Battle Royale and Deck Masters. Like they have some like weird names to some of these special sets. I don't even remember them all anymore, but I knew it. I did a lot of research into this to put them all in order of release dates and everything. So this is the preview area. Okay, this is the end of the preview area. We go up to, I think it's like Izzet versus Golgari maybe. So we're back to the Lathny Dragon. He's a one-off character. This Jace is kind of cool. This one was a book offer. I remember buying the book from like Barnes and Noble and making sure the card was okay, and then I walked outside and just threw the book in the trash. Actually, no, I think I got it from a comic store and I tried to sell the book, but I don't know. Anyway, I was not a fan ever of the Magic books. Here we have Chronicles, which by definition doesn't have any reserve list in it because this is the set that created the reserve list. People felt like, when they had the Antiquities and Legends and Arabian Nights reprinted, it devalued the cards they had. So almost no investability in Chronicles, but it is kind of fun having all 5 versions of the Elder Dragons. Over here we have some arena lands. And down here, this is kind of fun, the World Championship decks. And this is my only version of the old school Therese Nielsen Force of Will. It's the gold bordered signed issue. Okay, over here we got some Portal 2. I absolutely love the art style of this era. Everyone from Ditter Lizzie and Therese Nielsen to Anson Maddox, Mark Tadine, Kaya Folio, Rebecca Gay. Like just incredible artists. I did look that up, by the way. That's how you pronounce her name, Rebecca Gay. It looks like Gway, but she's fantastic. I love her so much. But yeah, Anson Maddox and Mark Tadine were like my absolute 2 favorites in the early days. Although Quentin Hoover is another one that's just a legend. Over here, all right, we're getting into some wild territory. We got the first unglued set, the first silver bordered Magic set ever. And, they always give you 5 basic lands, but 9 pocket pages have 9 slots. So what do you do? So for something, sometimes I'll get a little creative and just do 2 rows of 3 and then the three outcasts like at the bottom. Let's see. There's some Quentin Hoover art. Absolutely wonderful. Blacker Lotus. This Blacker Lotus and Chaos Confetti you have to tear up to use, so for sure those are mint because they've never been used. And then Unglued was also one of the first sets to include token cards, which is really cool. I love the squirrel token. You know what? This would be a good thumbnail. Let's see if we can get squirrel to activate. All right. Haha. I love him. All right. Nobody draws a squirrel like Ron Spencer. All right. This is one of the crown jewels of my entire collection. This is Portal 3 Kingdoms, and I am a huge fan of the concept of the Chinese Zodiac, or AKA the Lunar New Year Zodiac. Really love it. I don't have these in order of the actual Zodiac itself, which of course starts with the Year of the Rat, and then the next is the Year of the Ox. And the reason that is the ox basically was going to win this race between all these different animals, and the rat was riding on his head, and he leapt off, and he won the race. So that's sort of the deep lore of why rat is the first in the Zodiac cycle. But this card right here is one that I actually have on my investments list that I keep track of. Mint condition, English language, Zodiac Dragon. So these are actually more common in Chinese. This, I remember paying about $180, and I felt like a complete ass when I bought it, like 15 years ago, probably, maybe even 20. But I don't kick myself for that anymore. This is also interesting too. Straw Soldiers. I had this in my Reaper King Commander deck because this was retconned to be a Scarecrow. All right, moving on. All right, we have here the I think the star symbol is starter deck 1999. This angel this is just a gorgeous. This is why Quentin Hoover is a legend and always will be a legend. Look at that art, man. He has such a beautiful melding of like fine art, comic book style, pen and ink, colored pencils. I don't even know how he does it. Now, this is something I like to do a lot in my my notebooks. I like to showcase something, like lands especially, and just give them the full nine pockets. In this case, we have the unhinged forests, and then we move into the islands, the mountains. When you're just sitting there, just I don't know, sipping cognac by the fireplace, like looking at your notebook. Okay, I don't do any of that, but when you're looking at your notebooks, there's something mesmerizing about just staring into a repeated image like that. It's really pleasant. And then we got the plains and the swamps, and all these lands are worth a couple of bucks each probably. So it's kind of cool. And then this is one of the few sets where I actually did that with more than lands. Old Fogey. I love any creature with multiple powers, creature abilities like a Chroma Angel of Wrath. Old Fogey. I thought I was Old Fogey back in 2004. I'm really Old Fogey now. I love him. And Mox Lotus. This page cost me a lot of money to put together. And Mox Lotus is not even really, I don't know, I guess it's not that collectible, but I always thought the image was cool, and I just like having him. I don't know, it was a favorite card of mine. So I built my position in Mox Lotus. And then we have the rest of the unhinged. Let's see. Bloop. More unhinged. And then after unhinged, this was the first ever, what do you call it? Split card? The who, what, where, why, when. Again, I'm going to pull a lot of these to the camera because I've got it situated where you can see both pages at a time, but it is kind of hard to see in detail. Hopefully you can see that a little better. It's a strange card, but it birthed an era. Also, what do we got here? DCI lands. These are all DCI lands. We got some full art promos. Kind of cool. I love Memnite. 0 cost for 1/1. Sign me up. And then over here we have the very first of the dual decks. So we got the Elves versus Goblins. Obviously this is the Elf side. We got the Goblins, 2 pages of them. All these dual decks had a foil commander to it, basically, or not commander exactly, but like a captain of the deck. And I have a separate notebook for foils. So you won't see any foils in these notebooks except for, the first book had a little Sarah Angel at the start. Okay, then we got Jace versus Chandra. So I always like to do lands first because I feel like they're the basic building blocks of Magic. So I always logically put them first, and then alphabetically through artifacts. So this was only a 1-color deck, so that was easy enough to do. That counterspell is pretty sweet. I like that art. And then there's the counterpart, the Incinerate. All right, over here we have the original Divine versus Demonic. I always like those lands too, the Angel lands. And then there's the Divine, there's the Demonic. this Demonic Tutor, I believe. Yeah, I sleeved this one, or I inner sleeved it, because that is a pretty sought after version of Demonic Tutor. That art's only ever been used in this one deck. All right, and then this was the original, one of the original Plane Chase decks. I think there were a few of them, but got the white-red one here. And then we have Garruk versus Liliana. Snuff Out's a nice one with the Lily art. And then this is Phyrexia versus the Coalition. So we had a mono black versus a 5-color deck. And then this, okay, this is all Archenemy. So this is the first Archenemy set. Archenemy's a cool little set. Let's see. And then we have, oh my god, this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is a reserve list card. This is part of the, what I call the invisible reserve list. Crusade, banned for racism. Because finally I understand. Home isn't where you rest. It's what you fight for. Fighting for your home is extremely racist. Terrible. Terrible. Shame on you, Elspeth. So we got that, and then what is this one? This is, I think, Tezzeret versus Koth. You don't really hear much about Koth anymore. What is this one? Is that what that is? No. This is still this is Elspeth versus Tezzeret. I apologize. And then we got the Japanese version of Jace versus Chandra. Then we have, Knights versus Dragons. Punishing Fire. That's a really, I love that printing of Punishing Fire. That card's really cool. I was very disappointed in this set because there is a card called Hunted Dragon that when it comes into play, you put 3 Knight tokens into play for your opponent. I thought that would have been a flavor home run, but it just threw off the power balance when they were playtesting it, I guess. Anyway, terrible disappointment. Okay, so this one is Archenemy. Yeah, this... No, I take it back. This is the first Commander's set. Yeah, this is pretty wild, actually. That's the first edition of Command Tower ever, which, you know, we've seen that reprinted a billion times. Let's see. Yeah, this was the Kalia of the Vast Commander. I love these old Soul Rings. I don't really like, I don't like the new ones that have the new colorless mana symbol. I like it when they just say number 2. That's neat. All right, what was this one? This was a Johnny versus Bolas. That's what that one was. And then over here we have... God, who was this guy? Venzer. Oh, okay. Venzer versus Koth. And then this, what was this one? Sorry, guys, I'm blanking. I like to look through these books, but I don't think about what they're from. This was, I believe, the either Plane Chase 1 or Plane Chase 2. Okay, and then we get into some real Soothing Seas. This is Unstable. I actually had a full set of Unstable, and I had, at one point, I just sold it last year. I had like 200 of the basic islands. I bought a whole case of Unstable trying to get foils, and out of a case of 6 booster boxes, I got 2 basic land foils because there was only one version of each land. So instead of having 4, like 4 of each land, 20 different foils to choose from, you had 5 cards out of the set that were possible. But I did manage to get all of the lands. I doubt very much the foiling is going to show up on that because it's double sleeved. But this is a foil. This was a foil, and then I got foils in the middle of all these pages. So I did finish my set of, or at least the foil land set. I used to have all the unhinged foil lands, like one of each, and I sold them to this place called Super Games to help my ex-girlfriend pay for her car. And that was a waste of money because we broke up. So what's the point? These were cool. This was the contraptions that formed a mural. So these are all like one big image. This image would have been a lot better if you could see. It forms like a giant goblin, and the eyes are kind of buried. The eyes and the mouth are up there. But anyway, it's kind of cool. And I have a conspiracy theory about contraptions. These appear in a silver bordered set, but you'll notice they're borderless, which means down the road you could use these in a non-silver bordered game. That's just my theory, but you know, I think they may have had multiple reasons to print them full art. I love the seasons of the extremely slow zombie, and this was cool too. Wayne England passed away, and they did a kind of a black and white sketch card for him, which was neat. It even says draw a card. If that card's art is by Wayne England, you may reveal it and draw another card. So that was a fun variant that they did. And this was the first black bordered card to ever show up in a silver bordered set, the Steam Flogger boss. And now with Infinity coming out, they're going to do about half black bordered and half silver bordered. So that's interesting. This card's pretty wild too, the Urza Academy Headmaster. You actually have to go online to askurza.com and click on his plus and minus abilities to see what he does. And it's just a mishmash of all the other Planeswalkers that exist. It's kind of funny. All right. These had nice tokens too. All right, and then at the back of the page we have some foil oversized cards. So these are pretty wild. Get to see that beautiful, beautiful Therese Nielsen art in giant size. Man, they were such reactionary idiots to fire this amazing artist. I'm never going to not make fun of Wizards of the Coast for doing that. So stupid. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, boy. More foilies from, I guess, yeah, multiple sets. So these are some of the other sets. More Therese. Lovely. Still more. All right, so we have the 5 monocolored Planeswalkers, the first characters that could be used as your commander. And, you know, a lot of people get confused or annoyed that there's like oversized cards in the commander. First of all, you know, there's a regular size version of the same cards in there. But if you wanted to use one of these oversized cards in your commander, you could, because the commander card itself only ever goes to 2 places. It goes to the command zone, it goes to the battlefield. Once it dies, it goes back to the command zone. So it doesn't matter if it's oversized. It doesn't matter at all. All right, there's Brea, lovely Brea. I like this guy. He reminds me of the Attack Titan from Attack on Titan, Eren Yeager's. It's kind of creepy looking. All right, and then, okay, so these were from the Hell Vault, back when they did the Avacyn Restored set. These were like promos that came out with that. So we got Avacyn and what they lovingly call the Powerpuff Girls, the blue, red, and green angels. Then over here we have some intriguing characters. These are cards from a thingy. I forgot what they call this. But anyway, this was sort of a prototypical version of Commander, I guess, where you had a character in front that you could then use. Vanguard. I think that's the name, Vanguard. So we got some Vanguard cards here. And then we have some really cool, these are archenemy cards, which because they were oversized, they could kind of expand on the titles a little bit. I Delight in Your Convulsions is maybe one of the best Magic card names ever. And Plots That Span Centuries. This promo has great game text. When you set the scheme in motion, the next time you would set a scheme in motion, set 3 schemes in motion instead. I mean, makes sense to me. All right, and then last page, last but not least, we have some cards from Plane Chase. including Nephalia from Innistrad, the Hedron Fields of Agadim, and a place we haven't really been to very much. The Vryn, that's I think that's Jace's homeworld. We've seen some of these big mage rings in some of the basic lands from Origins, but other than that, this is kind of a cool world. I'm sure they're going to go to it eventually. All right, well, that is it for the Indigo Notebook. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Tomorrow, I'm going to rant and rave a little bit about Bad Idea Comics, which is another sector I think is worthy of investigation and investment. But anyway, that's it for tonight. Hope everybody has a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.